So welcome. What a joyous day. I'm Jerry Lynch. I'm the Vinnick Dean of Engineering here at Duke University, and it's a great honor for me to welcome you to this ceremony that celebrates our engineering master degree recipients. I'm sure that all of you in attendance share my unbridled joy and pride to be here today to celebrate our newest Pratt graduates. Some of you might not know this little fact, but I'm relatively new to this community. I just started as dean this past January. So today is even more thrilling for me, being that this is my first commencement weekend here at Duke, and so far it's been a wonderful weekend. More importantly, it's also my first time serving as a member of this awesome and amazing Duke community. Today we also recognize the journey taken by our master graduates over these past few years, given the fact that their journey has not been an uneventful one. Despite it all, they continually demonstrate resilience, sheer talent, and passion, and remained undeterred in their quest for broadening their horizons, deepening their knowledge, and amplifying their impact. This journey was not one taken alone, and would have not been possible without the unwavering support of parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, as well as close friends and loved ones, many of which are in attendance today. So if able, would you all please stand to be recognized? Not the graduates, the supporters. Thank you. And thank you for all the support that you've shown these graduates to make this journey possible and to support them for all their successes. So graduates, now it's your turn. In 2020, the coronavirus pandemic brought the world to a near grinding halt, yet you persevered and you grew. You had the courage to carry forth with your studies undaunted, and you made the best of your graduate experiences. More importantly, you did so with great grace and compassion, exhibiting great care and concern for each other within our community. So thank you for that. After your years of learning, designing, testing, even failing sometimes, as well as leading and serving within this community, our faculty have now determined that you are truly ready. You have worked tirelessly to learn and grow, and you leave our campus better, stronger, and more capable than when you arrived 1 or 2 years ago, armed with resilience and grit and ready to take on the very biggest challenges you set out to solve. So watch out, world. But this is your moment, graduates. Today, we do a solemn and a momentous thing. We admit you as leaders of one of humanity's most essential professions, engineering. To borrow a quote from the legendary Yogi Berra, "The future ain't what it used to be." While our global community has made so much progress toward prosperity since the middle of the last century, largely based on our handiwork, technology, your ability to take the baton and to continue to advance the social good through your work will undoubtedly be challenged by the wicked problems that lie ahead for you. Challenges like rapid global urbanization, acceleration of climate change, or even the global spread of viruses and antibiotic-resistant bacteria will all demand your full attention and unbounded creativity to solve. While technology has contributed to these grand challenges, technology simultaneously is key to solving them. Our practice-focused curriculum has given you unique capabilities to more readily apply your advanced engineering and management skills to create breakthrough technologies and solutions that have clearer and more immediate pathways to practice. We need to acknowledge that the sheer complexity of the problems that lie ahead render them nearly intractable, meaning you are more likely to fail before you truly succeed. But that will be part of the fun, and when you do succeed, it'll be all that much more gratifying. With our society going through rapid transformations driven by technology, the moment will demand you consider the broader societal questions that will frame your professional work. Foremost among them is the question, are our solutions equitable? As global change introduces higher levels of disparities across our global communities, we must be extremely thoughtful about who are the beneficiaries of our solutions, with the aspiration for us to advance the common good. This demands an all-hands-on-deck approach, meaning you must immerse yourself in diverse teams that allow you to leverage the wealth of identity, perspective, and life experiences that are so essential to fueling creativity and innovation. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one of our greatest American heroes, stated in his last public speech in 1968 at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." While his point is that just change certainly takes time, I implore that the graduates not be afraid to be at the vanguard of those aiming to accelerate that needed change to make a better world. So Duke engineers, you truly are ready. You leave here equipped with your own set of superpowers that will allow you to intrepidly propel yourself forward as you strive to achieve the transformative solutions that our society so direly needs. You leave with resilience and grit. You leave with a graduate engineering education steeped in engineering management that has trained you to see the world differently, to ask much deeper questions, and to explore all dimensions of problems of which technology is only one. And you leave with talent and passion, an ethos that is on full display every day on this hallowed campus. So bottle it up and be ready to douse it on every future step that lies ahead in both your personal as well as your professional lives. So my engineering colleagues, go forth to change the world for the better. Make it more resilient and more just. We're counting on you to succeed, so go forth boldly and proudly. So a hearty congratulations to the graduates of 2022 in our Masters of Engineering Management program.
Dean Lynch, thank you very much for those opening remarks. Hello, I'm Brad Fox. I'm the Associate Dean of Master's Programs, and it's my delight to be able to introduce our speakers for today's ceremony. I'll begin with the first of our two student speakers. At this time, I would ask Chloe Abi Zahid Duo to the stage, please. Chloe is a May 2022 graduate from the Master of Engineering Management program.
Dear Chloe, an update has been posted to your applicant status page. Dear Chloe, congratulations. I am pleased to inform you that you have officially been admitted into the Master of Engineering Management program for the fall 2021 term. Admission to the program was very competitive this year, and you were viewed to be an excellent candidate. Good afternoon, class of 2022, or should I say, excellent candidates. What an honor it is to be standing here today, addressing some of the brightest minds that I've yet to encounter. I remember walking into the program and feeling like I knew nobody, and I always made jokes about being the odd person out. But now, looking out into the crowd, I see so many faces that I know and love, and that makes my heart swell. You guys never fail to make me feel like I could take on the world just by doing so yourselves. To be honest with you all, I am terrified right now. Standing here is nerve-wracking. Fear. I know it's not what you want to be talking about today, so I'll keep it short and simple. But I know fear. I have met fear. I have stared fear straight in the eyes, and I have told it to go away and to leave me alone. I met fear in the eyes of my parents when the situation in my country, Lebanon, made it so that we lost everything they had been working on for decades. I really wish my parents were here today. I would have loved to thank them in person. They literally sacrificed everything to put me through this program, as I am sure many of yours have as well. I met fear in the way the world shifted and tilted during the largest non-nuclear explosion of all time in Beirut. I met fear when I decided to break out of my Middle Eastern female shell and apply to one of the most prestigious institutions in the world, Duke University. I met fear when I left everything I had behind and everyone I know to go on the pursuit of something bigger than myself. I'm telling you, fear and I, we go way back. But somehow, nothing ever came close to the fear I felt the second I stepped into Duke University. So let's play a game. Why is Chloe so scared of Duke University? Is it the big, tall buildings that hold a succinct resemblance to the winding corridors of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry? It's not. I'm probably the biggest Harry Potter fan in the room. Is it Professor Anthony O'Driscoll always talking about his favorite Amazon shoes, which he probably overpays for? And I'm pretty sure if he was here today, he'd be wearing those shoes, but it's not that. I mean, any talk of shoes is happy talk, right? Is it Professor Kathy urging us to always, and I mean always, go for a win-win situation? Is it Professor CJ always repeating that depreciation is not cash? I mean, I have had nightmares about that sentence, but that's not it. Is it Professor Dean Herring always telling us to tell our stories somehow? Or the fear of not catching one of Professor Seth Watkins' Honeycrisp apples, or one of Professor Glass's imaginary tennis balls? It's not that, all right. I'll keep it simple and I'll make it easy for you guys. It's not Professor Marshall always urging us to go for collaborative team governance, or the fact that they got us 3 full-grown professors to teach 1 legal course, because 1 professor just wouldn't be enough to make sure that we are less dangerous. Or, hold on to your seats, the fact that we are not allowed to use our phones during seminar. I know, that's terrifying. But all jokes aside, I cannot even begin to express how thankful I am to each and every one of these incredible individuals. I mean, speaking for myself, I would not be in the position that I am in today if it weren't for some of them. And so on behalf of the entire cohort, thank you very much for everything that you have done for us. All right, you know, I wasn't kidding when I said Duke University absolutely terrifies me. It terrifies me because never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I would be allowed to dream so big and to want so much for myself and for my family. I never thought I would ever get that. But Duke University showed me that I could, and most importantly, the Master of Engineering Management program and every single one of you guys have shown me that I absolutely can. Now, if you're sitting in those seats, I can guarantee that in one way or another, you feel the same way that I do. But if you don't, then listen carefully. You might think that Duke University just opened the door for you, but it didn't. You might think that it just gave you the keys to your future, but it didn't either. In fact, Duke University built around you a whole world of possibilities and opportunities and connections. And if you ask me, I cannot wait to take it for a spin. Dear class of 2022, congratulations. I am pleased to inform you that you have officially graduated from the Master of Engineering Management program. Graduation from the program was very competitive this year, and you are now viewed to be excellent members of society. Thank you.
Chloe, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us today. I would now invite Pratik Swayansita Roth to the stage. Pratik is a December 2021 graduate from the Master of Engineering Management program.
Wow. Thank you, Chloe, for those amazing and inspiring words. It's going to be a really tough act to follow, but I'm going to try my best. Thank you so much, professors, for this opportunity to be standing here and sharing my thoughts. August 1st, 2020. It had been 5 months since the world as we knew it changed. We were battling the deadliest pandemic since the 1919 Spanish flu. Many of us were separated from our families, living in different cities, countries, continents. Many of us lost loved ones. Many lost their jobs and struggled to financially provide for their families. Many of us quietly struggled with our mental health, while work from home and study from home became the new normal. August 1st, 2020 also happened to be the day I moved to Durham. During the height of the pandemic, I packed up the last 3 years of my life into 3 large check-in suitcases, bid a virtual goodbye to my friends, and hopped on a flight to Durham. It had been over a year since I had last seen my parents, and due to the pandemic, I was unsure when would be the next time. I was unsure as an international student that this wasn't something new to me. I had been living out of those 3 suitcases since I left India at 18 to pursue my ambitions in the United States. I didn't have any family or friends in Durham, and on that first night as I sat down to have dinner, on that cold hardwood floor of my empty apartment, exhausted from all the travel and the stress, did it actually hit me. An almost crippling sense of loneliness, uncertainty, and self-doubt. Never did I think in an era of social media and Zoom, would we struggle to stay connected? Confined to the isolation of my new apartment, I was afraid of the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Would this pandemic ever end? Would things ever go back to the way they were? Would this be the next 2 years of my life? Would I be able to adapt to the challenges that lay ahead of me? We all had made incredible sacrifices to get here, moved away from our parents, siblings, significant others, and friends, undertook financial obligations just for this one opportunity. We all coped with this uncertainty differently. Some coping mechanisms, really good, some not so much. For me, I told myself failure was not an option. I had to succeed. If I could succeed here, these feelings and thoughts would go away, so I had to be the best. Like most of us, I struggled to adapt to virtual learning and collaboration. There was never enough time in the day. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. every day just to squeeze in a few extra hours of work, reply to a few extra emails, apply to those few extra internships, or just go over my assignments before class. I prioritized my academic commitments, networking, and other extracurricular activities over my family and friends. Everything I did had to be the very best. Every assignment had to be perfect. Anything below that was unacceptable. And I not only held myself, but those I worked with to those standards. I did not have any friends here back then. I had teammates, colleagues, and classmates. It would be days before I called home and spoke to my parents, months before I spoke to my grandparents. Told myself that they knew I loved them and cared about them, and once I was done over here, there would be enough time to tell them how I felt about them. Even though I excelled at school, got involved with various student organizations, volunteered my time consulting for NGOs, despite all the wins that I had, I felt like an imposter and didn't fit in. Intellectually, I was succeeding, but spiritually, I felt lost. And I wasn't sure why I felt like this, so I just prayed and hoped everything worked itself out. February 18th, 2021, 11 months since the pandemic confined us to our houses. I just began working on one of the assignments that was about to change my life. We had to reflect on a few personal experiences and answer questions. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But that first question really woke me up. What is your purpose? Why do you get out of bed every morning? What was my purpose? As I reflected, I realized I'd never truly identified my purpose in life. I never thought about anyone or anything other than myself. Never thought about my life's purpose as something larger, something bigger than myself or my success. Always confused my ambitions with my purpose. Was being the very best or the most successful the only purpose of my life? I moved on to the next question. What are your core values? I was aware of them, but I had never taken the time to sit down and articulate them. Perseverance, integrity, courage, respect, and honor. But I felt like something was missing, so I sought out my professor, Theodore Ryan, to help me out with this. As I reached out to Professor Ryan, and in our meeting when he went over my assignment, I sat there in silence, contemplating how he could help me out. Within a couple of minutes, he looked up and said something I will never forget, and that changed my life. He told me, your core values are missing something very important: compassion and empathy. This will color your perception of the world to be very binary, black or white, right or wrong. A world with all justice and no mercy is a very cruel one, and this extends to your perception of yourself. You push yourself very hard and expect everyone else to put in the same amount of effort without any other consideration. You tend to be even harder on yourself, blaming yourself for the smallest mistakes. You need to learn to forgive yourself and others. As I sat there in stunned silence, I knew he was right. Over the next 12 weeks, I consciously practiced empathy and compassion in all aspects of my life while I worked on redefining my purpose. I met some incredible individuals who, despite their greater professional experiences and standing within the program, treated me with respect and kindness. Slowly but surely, things changed. As I got closer to living my values and defining my purpose, I felt calmer, grew more composed, and confident. Classmates became friends. Lonely dinners turned into virtual happy hours. My cohort became my community. My time spent reflecting on these experiences forced me to acknowledge my own shortcomings and work on improving myself. In Professor Ryan, I found a friend, mentor, and family who cared deeply about my well-being. He helped me understand and rediscover empathy, compassion, and forgiveness for myself and others. It's okay to not be 100% all the time. We're all human and deserve unconditional love, respect, and compassion from ourselves. Apart from my parents, he and Professor Allegra Jordan have had the most impact on shaping me into the person I am today. October 28th, 2021. This time the pandemic hit home close. During my final semester, my grandfather passed away. I was completely shattered and homesick. I was at one of the lowest points in my life. I had several responsibilities as the president of the Program Development Committee, as the head TA for a class, as a member of Professor Morales' MEM Vision team, but I will never forget the compassion, kindness, and support I felt from our MEM community here. Professor Allegra stopping by my apartment with homemade chicken noodle soup and a stuffed teddy bear to comfort me during my time of loneliness. Professor Morales taking out a couple of hours from his busy schedule to speak with me and make sure I was doing okay. My friends coming over and making sure I did not have any of my meals alone. I realized I had found my community, my home away from home at Duke. From being images on each other's computers, we had gone to become family. May 7th, 2022. Dear class of 2022, we made it. Congratulations. It wasn't easy. We overcame significant hurdles and persevered in the face of uncertainty to achieve this moment. We have supported, nurtured, and driven each other to be our best selves. As we stand here today, I want to remind you all that we overcame a global pandemic and made major sacrifices to get here. The Pratiks and Chloes I met on the first day of classes are almost unrecognizable. I see before me today leaders, change makers, and enablers who are going to make a positive impact on this world. As we celebrate this milestone, let us not forget the incredible and deeply transformative journeys we've had. As we embark on this new adventure, please remember to be kind and compassionate to others, but especially yourselves. Empower yourself and those around you to give back to your community as often as possible. Remember your core values and find a purpose that inspires you to be the best version of yourself. Act respectfully and honorably in all spheres of your life. Life is short. Live to make a difference. We persevered through an unprecedented time to not only survive, but thrive. We are the pandemic cohort. There has not been a cohort like us, and hopefully there will not be another one like us again. That is our legacy at Duke. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratik, for sharing those inspiring words with us. Now I'd like to introduce Professor Luis Morales. He will deliver the commencement message. Professor Morales is the Executive Director of the MEM program.
Hello, everyone. Dear graduates, Dean Lynch, Dean Fox, dear faculty, colleagues, family, and friends. It's truly a special honor for me to be here today as we celebrate graduation day for our class of 2022. To the parents in the room, any parents in the room? Yes, I know how you feel. The reason for that is this morning, or earlier today, less than a few hours ago, I witnessed my son receive his Master of Engineering here at Duke, and my wife and I are still emotional about it, so I know how you feel. Graduations are probably my favorite event in the academic calendar. The mood is relaxed and joyful. Everyone is dressed up and surrounded by friends and family. Well, graduations are also perfect time to reflect on where we are, how we got here, and where we're going. So please join me as we reflect on your MEM journey, starting by looking back. So, as the student speakers have indicated, well, there has been you have gone through a lot. a once-in-a-century pandemic that is still present around the world. Everyone in this planet that we call Earth was impacted either directly or indirectly by this pandemic. For you, class of 2022, you face the consequences of this head on. Uncertainty at home, uncertainty about travel and visas, uncertainty about class offerings, remember? From super small cohorts to super large cohorts. Challenges getting into your favorite classes. I don't think anybody had that issue. Governments shifting and sometimes conflicting guidance on safety. Supply chain disruptions, inflation. From having no internships to having too many. Despite all of those challenges, here you are. You have successfully completed your mission, and you're graduated from one of the best universities in the world. And in the process, learned life skills and made friendships that will last a lifetime. Now, we look ahead and wonder what everything that we went through, given where we are, what everything we went through means to our future. I see two lessons here, at least two, many more. One is about resiliency, the other one is about love. So let's talk about resiliency. You certainly have demonstrated resiliency. Resiliency is defined by the capacity to recover or persevere when in the face of adversity or difficulties. Your ability to overcome past challenges will always give you confidence in dealing with future challenges. To prove it, I'll tell you a little story. 31 years ago, a couple of young engineers, newly married, decided to put their life, their careers at Bell Labs on hold to go pursue their Master of Engineering at Cornell University. Sorry about that, Dean. Okay. That was then, this is now. Okay, but anyway. But then a baby, their baby, decided to make an appearance 4 days before classes started. Everyone around them felt they were making a mistake, going to school with a newborn. And I, in retrospect, kind of agree. But they did it anyway. They did it anyway because they were convinced that this was a now or never kind of moment. Once the semester started, as they dealt with classes, assignments, projects, and a baby that needed and wanted attention, they questioned the wisdom of their choice. But they persevered. And a year later, they celebrated their graduation with a beautiful baby girl in tow. That was my wife and I 31 years ago. And I can tell you that that challenge that we faced together helped us deal with some of the greatest difficulties in our lives. So remember, we humans, we build confidence by successfully doing challenging things. You just completed a challenging academic program, and you did it under challenging circumstances. So never forget that. So what about that second lesson? It's all about love, baby. Love is one of those things that is hard to define, but it's easy to feel. Unlike resilience that comes from inside of us, love is bidirectional. You give it, and you receive it. It gives you confidence, but also gives you strength. It is a force that transcends space and transcends time. I lost my father 9 years ago, but I can tell you his love and his presence is with me every single moment in my life, especially when I feel weak and when I feel lost. While today we celebrate this individual milestone, you did not get here by yourself. There was a community of people, some of which are here in this room. There was a community of people that helped you prepare, encourage, and support you throughout this journey. So let's never forget that behind every individual triumph in our lives, there is a community of people that help us get there through their love and support. So let's pay it forward and be a source of love and support for others. Okay, before I finish, I would like to share some final words of wisdom, if that's okay with you guys. In homage to our MEM values, I would like to do it in the context of our 5 principles of professionalism. Let's start with communication. Remember that ideas not shared are ideas lost to time. Make sure you're engaged in your community, sharing your thoughts and ideas constructively, and ensure that other people do the same. Teamwork. I hope that your MEM journey reminded you that high-performing teams can tackle the most incredible challenges and produce results that far exceed the sum of their parts. Critical thinking. Things in life are rarely black or white. They're typically shades of gray. So you must consider multiple points of view when you analyze situations. Ethics. Know your values and act in accordance with them. Finally, humanness. Make time to reflect on who you are. What makes you happy? What are your talents? Live a life that is in resonance with who you are and make the most out of the talents that you have been given. Respect and support other people's desires to do the same. That's all I have for you today. Go change the world and make it a better place for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Morales, for your inspirational message to the class of 2021-2022. Hello, I am Angus Bowers, and it is my pleasure to invite our graduates to the stage, where they will be hooded by Professor Dean Herring and congratulated by Professor Luis Morales from the Master of Engineering Management program. Family and friends, just a quick note that while all of our graduates are listed in the program in alphabetical order, this is not the order in which they are seated and will cross the stage. Graduates, as your row is called, please make sure to exit your seat with your name card and hood draped on your arm. You are also welcome to remove your mask, if you would like to, for the hooding ceremony and graduation photo on stage. Chloe Abi Zaid Daoud. Delara Shimal Soylan. Namdi Dennis Okoro. Pratik Rat. Hadia Muddi. Carson Bard. Kira Dawn McDonald. Gunnar Alexander Kozel. Jeffrey Lee. Marco Antonio Gonzalez Blancas. Shweta Kini. Niti Ganti. Sole Zupir. Aniket Fegode. Prerna Prahulad. Muhammad Maaz Saeed. Riddhi Patel. Vincent Ivan Pong. David Smoot. Jeremy Gorin. Ryan Christopher Finlay. Shupaham Shende. Amanda Vixa Fernandez. Deepak Varshine. Heat Taval Shah. Mukul Gada. Anusha Vojula. Aman Tandon. Mansi Singh. Tejasvi Ramchandra Patil. Alison Atenas Serra Melendez, sorry. Yukili Fan. Ni Yi Xue. Xu Ying Huang. Haoran Tsai. Yash Anikumar Chowdhury. Digoj Vyas.
Well done. Hello, I'm Bridget Fletcher, Managing Director for Graduate Student Programs and Services. Please join me in a final gigantic round of applause for our graduates. Today, we've come together from near and far to honor these amazing individuals and mark their academic achievements. These graduates are prepared with the knowledge and skills they need to do great things in research, industry, and beyond. They will create solutions to problems we have yet to identify and help create a future we have yet to imagine. We send them off proudly and confidently, knowing that they are ready for the challenges that lay ahead. Graduates, your time at Duke and this time in history has been shaped by uncertainty and challenge. You have learned skills you never could have otherwise. Lean into that experience and chaos. Draw on your deep appreciation and understanding of possibility, and do the great things you are prepared to do because of the river of uncertainty you've had to, or rather gotten, to navigate. Thank you once again to our guests that have traveled from near and far to celebrate these remarkable students. And thank you once again to our graduates for all you've done and will do to make Duke proud. In a moment, I'll ask our first row of graduates to stand and recess out of the theater row by row. Once our graduates have all exited, we ask that our guests please exit as well. Thank you for being here today, and once again, congratulations to our graduates. Our first row of graduates is already risen, so please begin recessing out to the left. Congratulations.